but I'm like, I got a generation that's counting on me to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have nieces and nephews who literally are comparing their future to my accomplishments.
Welcome to Tea Time with Letitia on Gratified Grad, where it's my goal to help you graduate with gratification. In today's video, I am drinking my peppermint matcha with green tea. I drank it a couple of episodes back. I just really enjoy this tea, and so I was just like, you know what, it's okay. We're just gonna bring it back and drink it again. So I'm now going to let today's guest introduce herself and her tea.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Chadijah Craig, and today I'm drinking chai tea. Let me take a sip real quick. I drink chai tea when I'm trying to be productive but not be hyper, because I'm caffeine sensitive, but I love coffee. So I use this as sort of like a substitute to kind of like give me that energetic edge without getting jittery like coffee would. So I usually drink my coffee in the morning, and I drink this. It also can help you to relax. So it kind of like, you know how coffee can like bring you real up or bring you real down. It just depends on what it is I'm trying to do whenever I do drink it. But again, my name is Chadijah Craig. I'm a graduate of Jackson State University, and I'm also a Penn State graduate. I'm a musician, author. I do education consultant work where I travel around to middle school, high school, and colleges. I do various things, but among anything, I teach students how to find their purpose. In my recently published book, I Just Want to Graduate, 7 Purpose Keys to Crossing Stage with Confidence. I use 7 purpose keys: performance, underdog, relentless, programming, overcomers, studious, and excel. And I explain these different purpose keys to not only help the reader to graduate or to cross the stage of confidence or to go to that next level, but ultimately I teach them how to find their purpose, because I'm a firm believer that everything and everybody was designed for a purpose. And I have a saying that I have a motto, and it says that once a person can identify their purpose, therein lies the keys to everything we could ever want or need. And so no matter what it is I do, where I go, my ultimate goal is to shed light on helping people how to identify what their purpose on earth is. And so that's a little snippet of what I do. But
love it. Now that is how you introduce yourself and your work. Wow. Congratulations on everything that you have done thus far. I really resonate with the identifying your purpose, because like you said, like that is the key. That is where your voice lies. When you figure out your purpose and you start moving in it, you're moving and you're doing what you're comfortable doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, I love it. I love to see other Black women who also have identified their purpose and are sharing it with the world.
One of the biggest lessons that I learned transitioning from undergrad to graduate school, right? As I aforementioned, I went to Jackson State University, which is a HBCU in Jackson.
Whoop, whoop to the HBCUs. Right.
One thing that you know that's common about most HBCUs, and I don't know not one HBCU that does not have this in common with other HBCUs, that all of them are in the hood. Most of them are in the hood, right? Mm-hmm. And you can imagine it's a predominantly Black, it's a historically Black institution, and the students are predominantly Black. And so you can imagine I fit right on in. And yes, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, which is about 10 hours away. But if we got skin color in common, then more than likely we're going to be able to speak the same language, if you will. And then transitioning to Penn State. From being in one of the most Blackest places in America to going to one of the most whitest places in America, you can imagine how much of a culture shock that was to me. But one thing that I can say is that I learned grind while I was here. I learned how to get it. And I can just say this from one HBCU graduate to another HBCU graduate, is that a lot of the times, you know, our people don't give us the best customer service. a lot of times they really make us earn our degrees on a level that a lot of other people at other institutions don't have to work for their degrees.
Oh,
You know?
you are
and,
speaking
and,
volumes.
and I don't even want to air our dirty laundry, but you know what I'm saying? They won't tell you if you got you got a balance. You'll look up and your advisor done told you something like, oh, you've got to take this class. You got to be here another year. Like, you know what I'm saying? And by the grace of God, I was able to graduate in 4 years, right? It's only because I learned how to grind and stay on top of things in a way that if I had not, like, in a way that the way I observed people at Penn State, the way things are kind of like spoon fed, if you will, and not being like pretentious or anything like that. But a lot of things are like spoon fed, like they had a solid foundation prior to coming to school. As a first generation college student, for me, I really had to learn that grind because I couldn't call home and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can somebody help me? Like that wasn't an option for me, if you will. And so me going to Penn State, I had a hard time because a lot of the students because I was a graduate assistant. So a lot of the students that I oftentimes had to counsel or teach or deal with, I had no tolerance for BS because I grinded my behind off to get there. You see what I'm saying? Penn State is a normal, like, this was crazy. Penn State was a norm. Second, third, fourth, fifth generation Penn State students I'm working with. And I'm like, nobody in my bloodline has ever come to a school of this caliber. So I'm not about to play with the opportunity. Like you will willingly not go to class and play. But I'm like, I got a generation that's counting on me to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I have nieces and nephews who literally are comparing their future to my accomplishments.
Yeah. I had a conversation with my cousin. Actually, I have two things I want to share that really allow me to resonate with you right now. One is I have a cousin that said to me, you may be the trailblazer on the path, but I'm not going to let you be the only one. Like, we see you getting your degrees and stuff, but I'm not going to let you be the only one. And it's like, wow, like that is something. And then the other thing was, and, even to this day, I think back on this moment and I'm just like, I still wouldn't have done it differently, but I had a student, I was working with an undergrad student, and she was going on a trip to Italy, talking about her trip to Italy, complaining about the fact of, there was something that may cause her not to go on her trip to Italy, on top of her saying that she didn't like to fly, and just complaining. And in my mind, I'm thinking, but you still going to Italy. Why are you complaining? But then it came where she needed to work with me to do an experiment. And in order to do that experiment, she had to be up at 8 o'clock. Well, actually, she probably had to get up earlier, but she had to be in the lab by 8 o'clock in the morning. And she was like, but 8 o'clock, that is so early. And I looked at her, I said, see, that's your white privilege showing right there. And as soon as I said that, I had to close my mouth. I was like, I can't. Oh, I just had to get up and walk away. But like in that moment, I was just like, you are complaining about having to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning? Do you think I can complain about having to get up and come in and do work? And I'm doing something to help you out. This ain't even got nothing to do with me.
Listen, both of my years at Jackson State, and I say this with all humbleness, I woke up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every single morning to bridge the gap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very proud of my degree, but I will say this, that Jackson State could have never fully prepared me for a Penn State experience. It never could have. Like it's and I don't, like, I appreciate the tangibles that I received from my undergraduate, but on the academic talent level, it could not even begin to prepare me for that. I had to prepare myself for that, if that makes sense. Because like I said, I'm getting up 4 or 5 in the morning on my grind. And I'm a musician, like I said, so I'm getting up practicing while everybody's asleep. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can be on the same level. You know, because I recognize that there was a gap. Like, I'm a grad student, and on a transparent note, I had sophomores, juniors outplaying me, out reading me. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm driven by competition, you know, and I'm like, oh no, you're not about to outplay me. Like it's going to be, after I leave the stage, you gonna like, I want it to be to where they like, somebody else coming after her. Like, you know, like I wanted it to be that type of reaction. And so me getting up grinding like that and then encountering students who couldn't make it on time to a 9 o'clock lesson, I ain't got no tolerance for that. Like my fuse is like, you know that emoji that's like this? Like that little, like I didn't have any tolerance for it, especially like just considering like the geographic difference and things like that. And, you know, just on another transparent note, like when it came to grinding, like I was going through a season like with my family where I had to like support myself and my family at home in North Carolina. And so by this time, like I really don't have no energy to waste. I don't have no time to waste. Like if it's not contributing to me providing for self and family, then you're gonna get, you know, I was a little aggressive, but you know, God's still working on me, you know. But anyways, one thing, just to solidly answer the question, undergraduate definitely taught me that grind, or that perseverance, or that will to like to persevere and not to sweat the small things, you know. It really helped me to like, you know how horses, when they put the blinders on there, so all they can see is the finish line, like no distractions on their left or their right side, like their head is like a stick. Like it taught me how to like really zero in on the goal and to develop a vision so that every day counted, like I had something to compare my actions to, you know, if you will. And so I definitely developed my vision for sure.
This is a bit of a side question, but I always take the opportunity to have conversations about certain things that I've even wondered myself, because for a while, I definitely also had that, you know, that tunnel vision about things. Like, you know, there's nothing that's going to get in the way of what I'm trying to do, right? Like I may have little small things going on in other areas of my life, but when it came down to it, if I had to choose between me working on my degree and getting what I need done and those whatever little small things, I'm going to choose what I need to get done. But also in having that mindset, I sacrificed my health sometimes. And like in moments where I probably did need to sit down and decompress or sit down and really like think through, well, what just happened to me? I didn't. Did you experience any of that?
I did for sure. I had this thing where I would always, I didn't take time to look up, if that makes sense. Or to really savor my experience, if you will. It was just like, get up, go grind, get up, go grind, you know, to the point to where like now I would work out, you know, 3-4 times a week, you know, eat right.
So how did learning that grind in undergrad play out at Penn State?
The thing about grind is that a lot of times we just say, oh, I grind, oh, I work hard, but are you working hard in the right direction?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
It's a difference between me speeding in traffic just for the sake of speeding because I want to go fast. But it's a whole nother reason if I'm speeding somewhere because I know where I'm going and I'm about to be late, or I need to get there at a certain time. There's a difference. And you can almost get out of a ticket if you like, hey, if you a dude and my baby mama's in labor, you going somewhere, you need to get somewhere at a certain time before something happen, or I'm about to be late for work, or I'm about to be late for church.
Look, my mama is used. I'm trying to get to church.
Or whatever, right? There's a difference. And for me, for a long time, for a short time, I was grinding in the wrong direction. I was exerting myself more than what I should have because I didn't have a vision, right? And, you know, there's a favorite scripture that I have that I love. It's Proverbs 29:18. It says, where there's no vision, the people perish. In other translations they have, where there's no vision, the people cast off restraints, right? And so me me living by that scripture helped me to develop, like when I close my eyes, what it is that I see for my life, what it is that I want out of my life, right? And so now whenever I make a decision, I have something to gauge my decisions upon. Make sense? So I had this thing when I was in college, like I would have a picture. So again, I came from Charlotte, North Carolina, youngest of my mother's kids. My mother dropped me off 10 hours away from home, right? And there's a picture of my mother hugging me, right? She got tears in her eyes. I marched in the band. I was in band camp attire. Like, she's hugging me and I'm her baby girl. She cried all the way home. She told me, right? And I will put this as my screensaver. So whenever it is I was about to make a decision, I'd be like, somebody, hey, DJ, you trying to go da-da-da-da? I'd be like, all right, hold on, let me check the time. I'll look at that picture and I'd be like, I'll say to myself, this decision that I'm about to make, is it going to help me to take care of my mother like I told her I would? Or is it going to possibly rob me of the opportunity to do that? And if the answer was no, then, of course, but if it was like, if this going to put my vision in jeopardy, it's a wrap. I'm not going. I'll catch up with y'all. Like that was just, it was simple. 2 + 2 = 4. Like it was simple to me. And so when we talk about vision and how grind and the vision goes hand in hand, my grind was different and it was more focused because I knew where I was going, or I knew what it is that I wanted. And so me being here at Jackson State, a lot of people got sifted like wheat. I came in the band with like 300 something people, freshmen, just like me. We coming from all over the country. And I can honestly say that when I graduated in 2018, that it was probably like, man, I can count on maybe like 2 hands how many of us actually graduated that year. And there's some that's still there, but even more of them dropped out along the way. And I think for me, what kind of fueled my grind is that when I recognized that there was a difference between those who stayed and graduated and those who did not, right? And so I discussed this more in my book, Bro, I Just Want to Graduate, 7 Purpose Keys to Cross the Stage with Confidence, about how you really got to have a vision. And that's what's going to focus your grind. But most importantly, it's going to give you something to gauge your actions upon, if that makes sense. And so I couldn't have grinded the way that I did without first knowing where it is that I was going in the beginning, for sure.
Yes. So is there anything that people that you want them to take away from this conversation?
Understand and know that your purpose is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a journey of things that happen along the way. And so there's three steps that I use, or that I when I counsel people, or when I do my consulting work with students. There's 3 things that I tell them. I say, first thing you need to do if you're really gonna get on the path to discovering your purpose or get on your purpose journey, you need to first recognize your gifts. Recognize your gifts. I emphasize that S because when God created you, you wasn't born with just one gift. You're born with multiple gifts, right? And one thing that I know is that a man gift make room for him and bring him before great men. So that means every single person, human being walking on the earth has multiple gifts. That's not going to only make room for them, but it's going to bring them before great men. And so if your gifts are going to be tools that's going to help you on your journey. That's first thing, right? Second thing you need to figure out is how you're going to use your gifts, right? You need to give your gifts instructions. Tell your gift what to do, right? So for me, I'm a musician. That's just one gift that I know that God has given me. I'm gifted in music. I decided to put my gift in school. I decided to put my gift in band. I decided to put my gift and get a degree to certify my gift. You feel me? Speaking. I do educational song work, motivational speaking, all these things. I use my gift in high school. That's what I told my gift to encourage people. I told my gift to recognize, to help people to recognize their purpose. That's what I told my gift to do that. And guess what? It's opening doors for me. It's making room for me, right? Last thing, this is probably one of the most important ones, right? Where? where are you going to use your gifts, right? So in that scripture, it says, you know, a man's gift make room for him. That lets me know that my gift is destined. It's supposed to take me somewhere. And not only is it supposed to take me somewhere, it's aggressive about where it's taking me. It says it's going to make room. You ever had somebody tell you, I'm going to make you do it? You like, hey, you know, but that's how our gift is about us though. Our gift is like, I'm going to make room for you long as you know that I'm here. Long as you cultivate me, I'm going to make room for you, right? And, you know, I read in one of my favorite books and it says that, you know, let the greatest among you be the one who served. And so when I'm asking you where you're going to use your gift, I'm asking you, where's going to be your place of servanthood? Like, where are you going to add value with your gift? Where are you going to enhance somebody else's life with your gift? How are you going to enhance your own life with your gift? Give it a location, right? And so there's three things that I use in order to help people to identify their purpose. Identify your gifts, figure out how you're going to use your gifts, and then give your gift a place, give it a location.